Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're in our second series here for final week for HGC Korea, day 1. This one could be a fast one, just like the one we saw before. Quick 3-0. But Ballistix do the same to GLuck. That's what we're here to find out.
I think very likely. You are right on that. We're likely to see 3-0, but upsets can happen as it has happened a lot. Quite actually a lot more than what we always used to have from Korea. You don't it's always a region where we do not have any upsets at all.
Yeah.
But this season we have seen lots of upsets, like
Yeah.
KSP dropping losing to Tempest first of all, and then dropping sets off of some of the lower teams, even Ballistix and also Tempest. I think anything could be possible here if Ballistix they're not ready for it to play tonight, and GLuck tried like their hardest because this is their last game of the part 1, and they have a month of break here as we talk about GLuck. Here is the roster.
Yep, here they are. Relic, Overlord, Saran, Blue Beetle, and Milky Way. Obviously, Milky Way making a lot of headway with his ETC specifically. The matches versus Miracle really coming to mind there. Something that Ballistix will need to be really, I'd say, cognizant of. I wouldn't say worried necessarily, because obviously they can play ETC as well. They can prioritize the ETC, but something they want to think about a little bit more in the draft for sure, and how they play around the very aggressive style of Blue Beetle, or sorry, not Blue Beetle, Milky Way, and also his Anubarak, which is quite strong. He's a very aggressive and disruptive tank, so those are the two heroes he likes to play most, because those are the ones that can give him the highest impact. And you think about him on a Murd, and it's like, that's not what I like. That means I have to throw something at somebody to stun them. I want to get in there.
I think we'll see a different type of draft compared to the first best of 5, because they like to learn Greymane a lot more. And Ballistix, I think this is their time to try something new, possibly. They can try a few new things. If they don't want to show it for Eastern Clash, they can do the same. But they were the team that brought in the Lunara Tracer comp, first of all, to go against MVP Black. That was Warhead Junction we're talking about. That was some amazing rotations coming out, punishing plays. And this is one of the teams that watched lots of European matches and then tried to develop the meta for Korea, because who was always stuck in the old meta. And we started the snowball of the meta. Since that on, we have Ballistix now since L5.
Brighter jerseys here as well, as we're getting things set up. I think map bans are still ongoing at the moment, so not quite ready for that just yet. But I feel like what's really scary about Ballistix is the Hanzo play of SC. And could play the Genji, obviously, and we talk about Shimada Brothers and top-tier heroes. I think that's something that GLuck should really prioritize, is both the Hanzo and the ETC. If they can set that up to take away the Hanzo, get the ETC in, play maps that are strong for ETC when given the option. For example, if they, we don't know yet, but if they lost the coin toss, for example, and they have 2 picks, and they have, map choice. Maybe pick a map where they could use ETC to rotate, be aggressive early, like Tomb of the Spider Queen, Dragonshire, Towers of Doom. Pick a map like that, use the ETC aggressively, draft it with the Hanzo if you can in that second rotation. Even allow, if you want, Ballistix to take that Genji first pick.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where they should be approaching this draft.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually not the first time, but actually the time where the second pick could be a lot stronger in a way. This is, I think, the first time in Heroes of the Storm history where even the Korean teams prefer to pick map and get second pick, because they want that great pair to counter the first pick, because usually you need that pair, not just the solo pick. Of course, Hanzo was a great one that could pair up with anything, but with the nerf, with some great counters like Tracer, Malfurion, even Zero Two, which came out a few weeks ago, and I think that's going to continue. Maybe second pick will be stronger as we have Maiev coming out.
Yeah, we had, I was looking back at week 4 with the matches with Miracle and Fleas, and then also the matches that happened just the day before. Was it GLuck versus Blossom? There was a lot of map picks chosen by teams that lost because the second rotation can be quite strong in the current meta, and that's why things like the Abathur ban come in, and it gets a little bit complicated. But having 2 heroes that work together can be often better than just having the one hero at the front. I'm starting to, we talked about this at the beginning of the season, we're in week 5 now, technically 6 weeks later. I feel like I was pretty against having 3 bans when the topic first came up around the beginning of the season. And now I kind of feel like I'm leaning towards I would like to have 3 bans going into next season, because I think it would add a little bit of extra depth. But I would want those bans to be in the middle not in the front, because that would just be
So you want the first 1-1
just
and then 2-2
yeah 2-2
in
in the middle.
middle.
Yeah.
That's pretty tough. Makes the it makes the drafters' job so much harder. Like
Yeah.
Noblesse will be like, please no, not in the middle. Like
I bet Noblesse is gonna have fun with that. Some of the other drafters maybe not so much, but I have faith in Noblesse would enjoy
that's
that.
gonna totally destroy the team comp that each team is trying to do. That's because it shows lots of hints, and then if that actually comes true, with the 2 bans in the middle, the second rotation will get a lot more power.
Yeah.
All the teams will be choosing maps instead.
No, I think, well, yeah, there's a lot of choice of map that can get you more power when the bans are like that, but still first pick's gonna be powerful when if it were 2 bans and then 1, then first pick would be even more powerful, obviously.
Yes.
A lot to discuss. I'm guessing, by the way, guys, that we have some sort of technical difficulty, I assume, is why we're not going to map bans unless, like, you know, SC is like thinking like really hard right now. He's like, well, I don't know.
Oh, Volsky's available. Maybe.
He's like, you didn't say there was a time limit on how much we had to pick map bans. I'm gonna be here all night thinking about it. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Well, I'm gonna jump out of my chair and then go to the studio and click on any map.
Yeah.
Well, not gonna be the case this time, but we have a great news, guys. Wolf got a new pencil, and that's
How
the
did you
best
know?
news.
That's exactly what I was thinking about talking about from the timer. I'm not gonna tell you guys what brand it is because it's not our
Yeah, I
sponsor.
know.
But I was in Daegu recently, and I went to a pencil shop, and I found this this pencil that was $15, and my pencil kept breaking.
$15
Yeah.
mechanical pencil.
And my pencil kept breaking, as you guys probably heard, because our mics are pretty sensitive here at the VSL studio. Sometimes you hear the clicking, or I start like GLuck like goes on a long-winded tangent because I'm going like this and trying to fix my pencil so I can write the draft down. Not anymore. I have the lucky pencil here.
high quality,
High quality, man.
high-end pencil there.
Yeah. I don't know what else I could do with it but write, but it's like pretty sturdy. Okay.
Yeah, it looks pretty metallic.
It's
and
very metallic, not magnetic either.
If it's gone, you know who stole it.
Yeah, it's definitely the producer. Oh, he would never take it.
It's gonna be me. Well,
I'm gonna keep it attached to me at all times.
We did get the update that one of the players is having some difficulty just going into the
getting
room.
into the lobby.
Yeah, getting into the lobby. I don't know what exactly is happening, but still we need to buy time right now. So that's exactly what we're doing with the mechanical pencil talk.
Yeah, it's not very interesting, is it?
Well, I like my BIC pen a lot more.
Oh, you said the brand name.
Oh no.
Well, BIC basically just makes a bunch of products that like people lose easily.
Or one that you. It's also
It like
good
works
too, because everyone asks for a pen. Do you have a pen? And then
Here's
they
it,
never
yeah,
give
just
it
take
back.
this, yeah.
They never give it back.
All right.
Only the good people.
Okay, so Big Scott, the pens, obviously, those really cheap mechanical pencils that everyone used in high school. The one with the little plastic thing, that you could use to like put the pencil protector in, or pocket protector.
Exactly.
That little plastic thing. And you could take the bottom part off if you spun it if you want to do some repairs, which everyone had to do that one time when like they were in trouble. They only had one pencil, and the teacher was like, "I don't have any spares." And you had to like rotate the thing on the bottom and try to figure out why the spring is not working on that old big pencil. Where like you had that big pencil for so long that the eraser was worn off at the top. You can't even erase anymore. You're just scratching the plastic. But anyway, yeah, those are easily replaceable.
I hate that feeling.
Yeah, that is the worst. And then Big makes lighters, which everybody pockets somebody's lighter, or you lose a lighter. You find lighters on the streets everywhere. Like lighters, just they make those things that people are just gonna lose or give away. They're cheap, but they work. Wow, we talked about Bic a lot. They're not our sponsor, by the way. This is just GLuck's pen that he has.
Oh yeah.
It's very low quality, but I guess seems like you're doing fine with it.
Yep. And when your pencil breaks, I can always lend it to you. And
Sure.
you can keep it. That's how good it is.
Do you have a second one?
I have a different color one, a blue one.
Oh, that's no good. You have to do drafts in black. Well, I use a pencil because
I know you're a crazy black fan, but please, you can use a blue pen.
I don't know, guys. So I use a pencil though for writing drafts because everyone always gives me weird looks when I tell them that I use a pencil for draft, and it's because whenever I'm ranting while I write drafts, I'm like, "This is a strong pick because," and instead of writing down Hanzo, I'll just write strong pick. I'll like write whatever I'm saying, and I'm like, "Oh," and I have to erase it It's pretty embarrassing, but it happens a lot, so I have to use a pencil.
Well, that's for math. If you're using pen in math class, he will rush you and then take that pen away and then give you a pencil because he always says you need to erase because you have mistakes. You make mistakes in math, but in this case, can't you just
Yeah, 'cause
scratch
he's
it?
that
I
same-
always scratch it.
He's that same teacher who's like, show your work, so he makes you show your work,
Yes.
and then when you scratch everything out in your work, he's like, I have no idea what I'm reading anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, we're running out of things to say.
So what'd you eat for breakfast today?
I skipped breakfast.
Well, that's the way
actually.
that's the way we do it.
Just
I also skip breakfast
cup
today.
of coffee and that's it.
Wow.
That's it.
We just don't have anything interesting to talk about. I had leftover
We're so
pasta.
boring. Oh, we can talk about the best topic, our $2,000 suit. on Reddit.
Yeah, our nice suits, man. Oh, we look
So
so
this is a
good.
topic that everyone is having
Yeah,
a tough
so
time.
We want to tell you guys, because I know everyone loves our suits.
Mm-hmm.
I know you want to give us full credit for picking them out. Like GLuck and
never
I
pick it.
spent, 2 days going down to the nicest tailor,
From Itaewon.
and we made sure they're perfectly fitted together.
Yes.
We got these pocket squares going on. Now I know you guys think like,
There's
wow,
nothing
these suits,
inside.
these suits are super. Yeah, you can't pull it out. Everyone thinks these suits are super amazing, and that we spent a lot of time. GLuck and I were like, they're gonna be coordinated. We think we're better than NAEU casters over there. They wear their own special outfits. No, we didn't buy these. They're not our choice. We have makeup people who do our makeup every day and buy our clothes and suits, and it's Korean styled to have uniform clothes throughout an entire season, and for both, or in Korean casters' case, all three
Yes,
casters
of
to have
them.
the same outfit. So that's why we have these. I know you guys love them a lot. You want to give us a ton of credit for the beautiful suits that we wear, but it wasn't us. We got to thank our makeup people and our coordinators for outfits, because it was really their hard work and dedication that got us this. And sometimes you guys might get a little bit bored of seeing us in the same outfit every day, but that's just how it is in Korea. We wear the same outfits, very uniform.
Yeah, we can't be in dress. Like even though this tie is not the best pair with the suit and the shirt, I know a lot of you has been saying that every
you
single
sure?
time.
Are you sure? I think it's
I
pretty good.
think it's okay, right?
It's,
With
I think
color
it's
kind-
alright.
I usually like to have a different color with against the suit and the shirt at the same time. It does smash up with the color a little bit, but still it's pretty nice with the blue.
So we have, you've got really 4 different kinds of colors in a way. Like you've got this one here
Mhm.
and this blue one. This is similar color to that, but then you also have the brown.
And this is the point.
Oh yeah, that's what we
That's
call
the
in
key
Korea
point.
the point.
Yeah.
Is like this
The
one's
key point.
this here is like a little bit different
There's nothing inside.
than everything else. As we're being held hostage right now. We're being held hostage.
We're going
by,
to commercials for 5 years.
We're being held hostage by the problems that we have here, and like we have no way to fill this downtime. We didn't prepare for this. Okay.
Finally!
Yeah. All right. BOE is going to be our first map with bans
Ooh,
on
that was tough.
Dragonshire and Volsky. So a faster series, the 2 longest maps in the pool, removed by GLuck and Ballistix.
And picked by GLuck. So, and oftentimes when they pick the map, they have some kind of strategy. And of course, their rotation was their initial problem. Seems a lot better compared to week number 1. And Blossom will try to punish that rotation because they know that is their weakness. And oftentimes solo lane to Saron has been the weak link, but he has been playing a lot better solid lanes here.
Yeah. I mean, this map is oftentimes about, like, this is the map where we have, I want to say, the most forced team fights, because the team that's losing the Immortal race always has to fight in some way or another, at least try to poke and then get a pick or dive in completely. So the 2 key factors on this map are not really rotationally based or global based, but the solo lane, how well you win it, and how quickly you can rotate into those fights, or what you can use that pressure in the lane to do in a fight. And then obviously your ability to fight in early game, mid game, and late game, because you're going to be fighting from the first Immortal phase in most cases. The wave clear in the 4-man rotation is obviously pretty critical as well. So
Well, I thought we were going straight to draft,
Yeah.
but this is taking a while also.
yeah, I worry that our issue might not have been resolved as we thought, but it's all right. Everyone can be patient. It's gonna be we'll get it soon. Okay, look, for a second I thought it was going to come to us, but you know what? My fears were allayed. We're in draft. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about Heroes of the Storm again, GLuck.
Oh yes, that's the best topic to talk about.
So, does GLuck ban Hanzo? Because their first pick, we talked about how they could try to steal it if they were second and get the double pick, leave Genji open.
Oh.
Oh, well, I guess we'll never know.
Oh,
Look at
well,
that.
well.
I'm pretty sure that's big water right there.
Ooh, his mouse is glowing. That's a pretty cool mouse.
Yeah.
Our music's cut off and everything is working against us, Wolf. And we're back from the holidays. We had some nice rest. We were getting excited, but okay. We can do this.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure we can. I just don't know how.
If you don't know how is this going to work out?
Well, I imagine that based on what, if you look at Relic's monitor real closely, you can see that he's in the lobby.
And
so it's not him. We've narrowed it down to 9 people that might not be in the lobby.
and there are all 10 players in the lobby.
Looks like it. Saron is feeling the pressure today, man. He's sweating. I have to, you know, get his wits about him here. It's going to be a tough matchup against Jung-Ah today, especially on BOE to start the series out. Talking about the strengths of GLuck to talk about a more topical, you know, thing than our suits or big pencils and lighters and what we ate for breakfast. Saron looks really stressed out. The strong point for GLuck outside of Milky Way's tank pool we were talking about is absolutely Relic's potential to carry on top tier high skill ceiling heroes like Tracer, for example. Looks like it was an incorrectly made lobby. Ballistix does not, GLuck did not have first ban.
Yep.
They're going to remove the Hanzo, and I really like both bans here. Obviously, Tracer, one of Relic's greatest heroes, and Hanzo, I think, is played by SC the best in career right now, potentially in the world. He's such a great Hanzo player. You just don't want to give him that option on this map.
Yep, also Genji and Greymane is open, so we're going back to, I think we're going to see a similar one from 2 weeks ago, not the first best of 5. That's more updated version of the draft from Korea, but here comes Blaze as first pick. Similar to 2 weeks ago, and GLuck very likely just an old pair. Greymane Uther very likely.
Yeah. Genji is available, one of Relic's favorite heroes,
that too?
but not very map strong, not a very good pick given the situation with Blaze already picked as well, because it can really hurt you in terms of what you can accomplish. When the Dragon Blade comes out, the bunker comes in, and you're swinging at a metal object rather than the squishes you wanted to kill. This is quite odd. Now, Malthael obviously does percentage-based damage. It's very strong against the Immortals. It's very strong solo lane for Relic as well, or sorry, excuse me, for Saron against Blaze. But prioritize this highly and not with the Uther? That's a little bit surprising.
Yeah, that is very surprising. And even in the open division with the newest patch, GLuck was a team that did not try anything fancy. They were not updated usually. It took them so much time to catch up to the meta and play the newest heroes because they were new to HGC, of course, but new to open division even last season. But this time around, they're updated. They're willing to risk the changed ones, but they're giving up so much for it though. Marthael first pick?
Yeah,
they must have something here.
There must
Last
be a
rights
reason.
draft?
Well, I don't think you can just put it on last rights. This is an obvious Uther ban. Like, if they let Genji, ETC, Blaze, and Uther through, well, they're fools, but they're going to lock it in. They're considering other options at the moment, but this is a very easy ban to make. As Relic has been doing this finger waving all day today, man. He's leading the charge. Obviously, Uther would empower Genji so well. They already have a support themselves, and he obviously gives you the potential for amazing mosh pits. So, do not let that Uther go through. I'm surprised they didn't pick the Uther themselves with the Malthael, but let's find out what their plan is. The ETC and Blaze takeaways, we saw how well those work with Malfurion in Game 1 of our previous series. We've seen it a lot throughout the season. Tracer's already moved as well, so the Malfurion pick so far a little bit puzzling. They don't even have a tanky top laner. They have Malthael, so let's see what they want to do with this. I'm quite curious.
They already have ETC away from Milky Way. The second most played it was a Nubarak, but in this case, I don't think so.
Maybe a Garrosh because of the pairing with Malfurion.
Garrosh or even a Tyrael because they would need that shielding along with that long time over. Ooh, but going against the DPS line because they can actually snipe the DPS, as Greymane is always has been their favorite since their open division games.
Now GLuck gets trapped in this weird situation where with Greymane removed and Hanzo removed, they don't have reliant DPS for poke. It's going to be tough to fight into a Blaze and ETC comp with dive, obviously for the same reason we talked about in game 1. There's the Garrosh. I think Li Ming is pretty appropriate here. Not very strong against Genji, but strong against ETC, and you can kind of poke your way to an Immortal fight win. Doesn't work well. Okay, well, this is a different type of
Sergeant
poke.
Hammer!
It's a different type of poke, but similar concept, right? And this means you could use Malthael more defensively in fights. I feel like this might be a Twilight Dream Malfurion here. And you have the ability to, instead of Malthael trying to go in and use his Tormented Souls, he uses it when Ballistix tries to dive with their front lines. Leaving is still an option as the final pick here for GLuck, but I like the idea of taking this poke-heavy style. It's an older style that we saw in Phase 1 of 2017 on this map in Korea, but it's still very strong. Risky against the Genji and ETC and Blaze, but if positioning is correct, this absolutely can work well against what Ballistix has drafted so far. And I think they're going to need Ballistix something with a little bit more sustained damage now. Something a little bit beefy too, like maybe a Tychus.
Sergeant Hammer is actually a great counter against the Jet Propulsion and Power Slide. You can, with the Blast, you can push them out coming in. Kind of like Lucio's Boop in a way. But now Li Ming's taken away. They knew that that was going to be the case, very likely from Overlord from GLuck.
Yeah, I think this is kind of a denial pick from Ballistix. Doesn't do well for their comp necessarily, but it gives them more flexibility, and it means that Mosh Pit is still very much an option with no Wave of Force to counter it, and they have their own pokes, so they're not all about aggressive picks and dive with their ETC Blaze comp, which has so many stuns you can run with. Rhaegar being the support here means that ETC is going to have more opportunities to play aggressively, same with Blaze, with his trade as well. It's going to be tough to kill him in these fights with the slow damage that GLuck has with Tormented Souls and the Hammer. This is so defensive. They're basically trying to do a carry Hammer that does damage to the Immortals and also crushes in the 4-man. This is a terrifying comp for GLuck, but they need to use it well. It needs to destroy the bot lane. They cannot be picked by anybody. With Blaze and ETC on the side, they need to make sure that they're zoned out by Garrosh, or the Hammer will get picked. There's a lot of CC there, but in terms of pushing power and wave clear, GLuck is going to just run it down bot. Not mid in this case, but they're going to shove that lane and kill those cannon towers super fast. It's going to be very difficult for Ballistix to deal with. They need to respond well with the CCs that they have.
It's going to be difficult with Zarya oftentimes. For burst damage like Li Ming, the mages like Jaina, Li Ming, when there's a Zarya on the other side, it's really easy to give that energy because you do have the burst damage, but they're used to it. They have been through this Zarya many times last year. Ballistix is.
Yeah.
So are they going to let that energy build? Let's see the build for Zarya. May just be auto attack.
I think it very likely will be, because it's in the early game it's going to be about pushing the lane, right? But in the team fights and on the Immortal phases, it's going to be about just doing that auto attack damage and while protecting. So it is auto attack. It's going to be about protecting Hammer while also multiplying the damage. So looks like they're going to be pushing top here first, because they already know they're going to win bot, right? So get something out of top as much as you can. Oh, this is a bit of a misplaced siege up here. That was risky. We get as much out of the top as you can before you destroy bot. Malthael is already bot. They can swap this after they get this lane. And this is forcing Ballistix to respond. Look at how much later Blaze joins the bot lane, because they just didn't expect this. You kind of have to guess against the Zarya comp. That's why they went mid first. They wouldn't have to get totally blindsided. But GLuck is getting everything that they wanted so far out of this. And this is just simply going to continue in the 4-man as time goes on. And once they kill this lane, what they can do is simply swap bottom. And exactly as you say, all you have to do is time the bubble correctly, and then Overlord gets half energy just from one orb.
Yeah, that's going to be the job for Overlord. And Relic has been sieging, and as a DTC, you want to face melt and then push it out of the range. But still in the range. It's going to be a tough job because they're... Leeming, Genji, they can do some damage. It's going to be tough to get kills here going in. They can actually die from going in. So they're having a tough time actually going for camp now.
Milky Way is actually made 2 mistakes in terms of positioning. It's supposed to be standing there in order to block those shots and eat it for energy. Did messed up twice, but yeah, Saren gets this camp too. Jungho is going to get a little bit of damage done, but with the ammo changes, this is not as impactful that what Jungho was able to do down there as the siege camp will be against a Malthael. So it's a lost lane in both sides of the coin here for Ballistix, in both top and bottom, the 4-man and the solo. They're losing, but again, they have opportunities to get picks in team fights when rotations become more complex than just I'm trying to kill your cannon towers. So it's not all is not lost, and in fact this is normal.
Ooh,
like there's not much Ballistix can do.
Basically the job is to break through the shield and get that kill onto the Sergeant Hammer, who's on that siege mode most likely. It's going to be easier after 10, may even be stage type, just to break the zone of their defense line.
Look at how little this does, by the way, this camp. I just have to mention how totally pointless it was, basically. I mean, it was a good idea to try to mitigate what this can do before the first Immortal phase. It bought some time, but it accomplished nothing else than that, buying time.
This is actually
a good idea. I like this. Is it going to work? I think so.
I think just enough maybe with the Q. I thought the drain was enough, but
he could have. I mean, I don't know if he used his dash. I don't think so, but he could have dashed and got the reset as well. I think that was going to be a kill, pretty much guaranteed. So I like that move. But camp's going to get taken here. Malthael's already respawned. Mortal's now active. Let's see how Relic sets up for this. Looks like they want to go a little bit later, so they can get a little bit more damage on these cannon towers. That will catch them up in experience. Hooligan's actually forced to stay. This is such a fantastic position for GLuck now. Now, they do lose the first half because they were a little bit slow to rotate in. They got greedy in the top lane.
Yep, also they lost Tesseron from the bot lane. I think that's one of the reasons too.
Exactly. But now they have this position where they can poke and also threaten with Zarya. Need to be careful with how far up Milky Way is at the moment. Hooligan with a nice power slide here. Just trying to force everyone away while Hammer does that damage. Hammer came in to fight a little bit, which means Ballistix is getting free damage done.
But all they have to do is force out the zone and keep fighting with where the healing comes in from Malfurion for the next 20 seconds. This is going to continue, and Ballistix is not having a biggest, hardest time right now, but still not really finding a solid answer.
Yeah, well, they're struggling to come in here without taking a ton of damage, and they'll very likely win the race eventually. But
they're zoning in from everywhere. This is the best position for them.
That was such a great close in there to get that kill. Hooligans will survive here, it looks like, very likely. Power sliding away now. There's a double now with Malfurion going down. SC just showing his mastery of both Shimada brothers throughout this tournament. This time the Genji, as he threatens Malthael, makes it look like he's just simply not interested in fighting at all, and then comes back in to get the kill there onto the weakened member of GLuck. So a nice little flank there. I think GLuck got a little bit greedy in the top lane. It was a smart idea to get the cannon towers, which would catch them up in experience, but they stayed a little bit too long, which meant Ballistix just got too far ahead. And their comp's great at poking, but not really good at diving. Oh, this is a great toss. Hooligan getting out of here will require a lot of coordination. With the cleanse, that's good enough.
Yes, and destroying the wall. Everyone diving into that wall to save Hooligan.
That never happens in my hero games. Nobody breaks the wall for
and
me.
And you're the one that dies right after. That coordination.
That was beautiful.
You could see their coordination. That was beautiful indeed, and they already found the answer against the Sergeant Hammer. When you're around the middle of the map, there are lots of points. So Ballistix, they spread themselves out. They were all the way around.
Okay, Milky Way here, caught, stunned. Resets coming through for SDE. Huge energy here for Overlord. He's not able to do much with it, with their tank gone. And yeah, I mean, Saren pushes bot lane here, gets a little bit done, doesn't get the cannon tower. He's called for a retreat, should be able to get out. You can see what they're trying to do with the comp with Malfurion, trying to catch with roots when SC comes in. He's missed twice now, but still the idea here is good with this to try to lock down that diving Genji. But SC's positioning is good. He's threatening at the right times. And Ballistix is on track, obviously, to win the race to 10. And that's going to be right before this next Immortal phase. What GLuck is able to do there, what they're able to accomplish with this Zarya comp, that's lost its early game momentum. I don't know what I was saying what they're trying to do is going to be difficult. I don't know what their plan is going to be, because this comp is supposed to snowball you to 10 first. You're going to have some trouble in the mid game, but the early game you're supposed to destroy, and they just simply have not.
Yeah, they were supposed to push all the lanes with the sieging power that they have. They barely got the wall on the top, and the fort is barely destroyed. Here comes Jungkook from the side.
I mean, they're trying to do this now before 10, and they're successful. That much is true, but in just a second here with 10's up, they're not going to be able to stick around like this.
Yes, exactly. So GLuck has to get their maximum value in this lane, and they're not getting that maximum because of that positioning from the side. SC, that's going to be the biggest factor. Genji is always off the side, looking for the flank. No one's going to be safe when Genji comes in.
Look at ETC in the top lane, going up there, trying to stop Malthael's rotation. They didn't have vision of Ballistix, so notice that Malthael actually went back through the mid gate, went around. If you watch the meme map, so we're just watching this camp take, like, no one wants to watch that. You see, like, what we saw done by ETC allowed Ballistix to get this camp for free and threaten, and it was very likely just going to lock in stage dive and continue pushing top. No reason for him to pick Mosh Pit at this stage because of the control they have of the top lane. 10's up, Ballistix is able to invade and do this heavy push to win halftime before 10's up for GLuck. And this is the hardest part for Ballistix against this comp, is invading, but because they had 10, they didn't have anything to worry about, and now it's smooth sailing for the next phase. In fact, this might nearly be a fully shielded Immortal, because there's just so little that GLuck can do at this position.
They will do some damage to get that shielding off, but still way too fast against level 10. ETC is already pushing. Seems like it's a question mark, but very likely stage dive from the positioning we'll see. And also, as you mentioned, Mosh Pit, very likely lots of CCs to cancel that Mosh Pit.
Yeah, very much so. And I feel like GLuck has done everything they can to play safe in this deficit, but their entire comp was supposed to win the early game. And so now, you know, when you raise the question, what they do to come back from here, there's not a clear answer. They have 10 now. They actually went for Tranquility, which is pretty surprising given the composition of Ballistix. And now Mosh Pit feels like another option here for ETC.
Somewhat. It's going to be an easier time for SCSC to just go in whenever he wants to. It's even easier without that silence now.
Yeah. Tranquility is not going to do much against the burst damage of Li Ming. And here comes the stage dive, and right after you say it's locked, the root immediately, taunt coming through onto Genji here. SC going to eat that the Ancestral Healing. Saren's down, and Ancestral not normally seen connecting on Genji's, but in this case it's just enough. There's the follow-up stun here, and look at the displacement. Milky Way, 30 armor here, will help keep him alive for a little bit longer. SC comes over the wall here, does get out with his agility. Very close call there, but still, keep wall down. They've got both keep walls dead now. ETC's got stage dives, so they have split push potential. And Ballistix walks away unscathed.
That was almost a miracle for GLuck. After watching how much CC that they provide, Wave of Force right on top of all the 3 members. Genji could not get that reset. I think that was the biggest tool. He was going for that reset, but the armor on that Garrosh was pretty strong and could not get that reset. So, but still, a big win for Ballistix. They pushed all the way into the key wall. And GLuck, they couldn't really do anything. Now, with so far back pushed, it's going to be even tougher for them to push in because they're so far away from their own structure now.
Yeah. ETC's 3 seconds until his stage dive is up, so he's going to be pushing bot. They expect at this stage that GLuck is doing this camp. They don't have full vision or awareness, but they're pretty safe with the comp they have and the global they have to not worry about this. So they can push bot, or excuse me, push top now. Well, ETC didn't miss a single minion of experience. He's obviously going to back off as the rotation comes down. While the rotation comes down, the siege camp top is going to push towards that keep, which is exposed with the wall down. GLuck, down a talent tier, I think are way overextended right now. Stage dive can help to prevent the retreat as well. This is a trap that is about to be sprung by Ballistix.
They're looking into the angle to flank in from the side, but GLuck
here comes that stage dive. root immediately to prevent the power slide, but doesn't last long enough. Overlord drops down the expulsion zone. He does escape. Ancestral again here does connect. Malthael is already dead. And this is just going to be a disaster for GLuck here as SC gets resets along with the Li Ming resets coming through here for SDE. And 3 kills. They way overextended there. Now Milky Way has to desperately try to, he's tossing siege minions here. That's the best he can do to clean up this. This is going to be a dead keep, and all they have to do is casually walk back to the Immortals here to win the next phase. Trying to chase an ETC that was way long retreated down towards Fort, knowing Ballistix was missing top and were clearly rotating down, was the ETC Blaze Comp, then ETC having the stage dive means there's no way out, there's no retreat. Yeah. It was pretty predictable what was about to happen, and GLuck just walked right into it.
Relic has no escape. He was on that siege mode until he died, and for him to survive, they have to use every single thing, the taunt, the shield, expulsion zone from Zarya, and every single thing, every single tool that should be the damaging tool or CC to get, for them to actually get the kills. It's being used to save Sergeant Hammer every single time. That's why they're losing teamfight. There's no way of winning the teamfight right now.
ETC's pushing bot with the catapults to prep that. This is a lucky spawn for Ballistix as they can actually defend while they took their camp, so both lanes being pushed. He can just stage dive in. Again, he's rooted, but it doesn't matter. He's got the power slide right afterwards. Here comes a follow-up stun from Jungha, and
look at that damage.
Look at SD and popping off here. SC got taunted for a second, but there's no follow-up damage here with Zarya and Malthael dead. Only Relic, who's now caught with that power slide. He's dead, and this may just simply be game over. 11 kills to 0. That was, I mean, SC and SDE demolishing that team fight. All it takes is a setup stun. And power slide is the, or sorry, not power slide, stage dive with power slide right afterwards is the initiation for Ballistix. Catapult stacking up bottom now. Hooligans trying to set this up for a keep destruction here with the Shaman camp. Going to be about, again, nearly fully shielded, about 4/5, 80% shields on this Immortal. This should be the push to end for Ballistix. GLuck, what do they do here? There just is no answer at this point.
There's nothing. With Hooligan, it is so easy for him to stage dive in. The root is there to stop him from that power slide right after, but still, that's a CC gone for the entire team of Ballistix, and no one can punish Hooligan from coming in. There's nothing for, not enough damage. Of course, Zarya, Sergeant Hammer, some damage, but it takes a lot of time along with Malthael.
Yeah, the root comes in, but it doesn't last very long, and ETC just simply heals himself up. He's got the armor, and they just can't kill him with the slow damage coming out. And with the nerf on the percentage-based damage on Malthael as well, it's just even tougher. And this Immortal, oh god, see you later, Relic. It was nice knowing you. Overlord caught here as well.
Up right there.
Missing the root, he's dead. Tormented Souls, let's see how long that one lasts, Saren. Gets a big heal there. Dragonblade, you know, not able to finish him off, and now they're fighting under this keep, but it just simply doesn't matter. The Immortal breaks through. Milky Way, maybe the next to die as SC just resets and resets and resets. SDE as well. Blue Beetle gets over the gate, but SC is just going to dash through it, and that is going to be...
ninja.
It's our first perfect game of the night. GLuck 16-0. No fort's dead. Ballistix will take game 1 in 14.5 minutes. High mobility heroes. Indeed.
Yes.
Li Ming just keeps pressing E and